Okay, I was wrong. I will take it back. I'm sorry for all of the bad things I said about Raki. I apologize for comparing him to Isidro from Berserk. Raki has proven to me his worth. He has stepped up. He has taken a few volumes off from Claymore. He's been kind of doing his own thing, kind of traveling around towns, and has all of a sudden become a massive freaking Chad, picking up Priscilla of all characters. In fact, I was so impressed with Raki's development as a person, I decided the whiteboard today would not be Claire, it would not be any of the other female characters. Instead, we have Raki being an absolute Chad. So I drew for you Chad Raki on the whiteboard, everybody. There he is, Chad Raki. Got Priscilla under his arm. He's also got a Monster Energy drink because I just feel like that's what he would be drinking. And so Chad Raki, he has grown. He has become a better man. He has ignited the fires within himself and become an absolute madman, picking up Priscilla. So absolutely, round of applause for Raki. He has stepped it up, man. My hat's off to you. Please train me in your ways. Okay, so admittedly, it has been a few weeks since I've reviewed a Claymore volume for you guys, and I absolutely apologize for that. My only excuse is just timing. It's really hard to find the time to do it, especially if I want to do like one volume at a time and do a review, do a video for each volume. Just very difficult to find the time. The last 2 weeks were crazy busy. The last week at my full-time job, someone was out and whatever, covering time. You guys don't care about that. All I want to say is sorry, but I'm back on the Claymore game. I have a review for you this week. This is Claymore Volume 10, and this pretty much covers the entire Battle of the North segment. So I'm going to talk about the positives, I'm going to talk about the negatives, I'm going to talk about everything in between, and Raki being an absolute fucking Chad. Number one, Battle of the North, the actual action sequences in this manga were really cool. I like seeing the different varieties of the awakened Yomas that they have. My only issue, I have two issues though. I have two like little gripes. And again, it's nothing really about the quality of the series. It's just things for me personally. Number one is the continuation of what my other gripe was that sometimes it's very difficult for me to keep track of the characters, to keep track of who's who or just how many Claymores are actually here, because we have a lot of characters that are sitting in one setting. What's the name of this town? I should have wrote it down, but it starts with the letter P. I forgot what it was. But anyway, so they're all here at this town or around this town, and they're all here to fight the awakened Yomas. The battles were awesome. I liked the sort of the teamwork between them. I like how they were varied off into different segments, into different teams, doing things, using their particular skills. Very, very cool to watch the fights themselves. But a lot of times, especially since I didn't read any Claymore for 2 weeks, it took me some time to like relook at the characters and be like, okay, so I remember Jean's hairstyle looks like this, and there's Flora, and Galatia should be here too, I believe. And then so there's a bunch of characters that I had a little bit of a difficult time sort of remembering, like getting their design straight. And that's a me problem. That's not a story problem. Also, like I said, I went 2 weeks with a gap of time in between reading Claymore. So that was a little bit difficult for me. And then also the second thing was that I felt like these three Yomas that they defeated in this battle happened a little bit too easily. And I feel like that happened for a specific reason. I feel like that happened so that when it sets up this battle here now with Rigaldo, who I'll get to him in a minute. Jesus, fuck, this guy. Okay, anyways, I think it was meant to set up to show the power of the teamwork of these Claymores, what they could do together, and how difficult they would be to beat, even by fully awakened Yomas together. However, you know, the idea of a fully awakened Yoma has been built up so much within the course of the series so far, and has showcased that the few times that they did encounter them, how difficult they were, how hard it was to beat the last one that was like the lackey of the fully awakened like little girl Yoma. Even though he was very kind of dim-witted, like kind of slow, he was still extremely difficult to defeat, and they didn't even wind up killing him. So the fact that they were able to kill three Yomas in the beginning of this volume, I just felt like it should have been, I don't know. I felt like it maybe should have been a little bit more difficult, but I'm not complaining. I'm not like putting down the series or anything. I'm just getting my negatives sort of out of the way. And now I'll get into my positives. So some of my main positives definitely deal with the Raki segment of this manga. But before that, there was a battle between Flora and Claire to sort of again, like test their battles, test their abilities towards one another. And Claire using her new arm to do her quick sword techniques and everything. And I really liked how that sort of mutual respect between warriors was being built. Normally you see this with male characters in stories, and just the idea of being a warrior, being a soldier, and that your self, like your worth, your value is based upon what you can do, like how you can perform, how strong you are, how quick you are, you know, what your skill level is. That's usually how you're judged. You're not usually judged just by like yourself, you're on the team, good to go. No, you're usually judged based on your performance. So to be able to see like a group of female warriors and still sort of have that code of honor, you know, incorporated within that, I like seeing that because you don't really see that a lot in stories. And like I said, Claymore has a very unique aspect to it in that it is a very female-led shonen, which, again, you don't get a lot of that either. So I think it's pretty cool that they were able to sort of like incorporate all of this like within the story and do it through these female characters. So definitely appreciated that. Now, on the other side of this with Raki, Raki shows up within this town. So apparently he was not taken captive like they were told before. I believe that like one of the men in black that sort of give the Claymores their missions were saying something about Raki. They said that he was here and they were correct about that. But I believe, didn't he also say that he was captive or something like that? Or perhaps he knows that Raki is now hanging out with Priscilla and Isley. So maybe that's what he's assuming to be captive, but turns out that that's not so much the case. So Raki has his brilliant reintroduction into the manga where Priscilla just immediately attaches herself to him and seems to really like him. Now, I don't know how much of this is falsified. I don't know how much of this that Priscilla is sort of pretending to like him, but she seems to have grown an attachment to him. And Priscilla's personality in this seems to be very sort of simple-minded. Now, when she was introduced before in the flashback, she was simple-minded in the fact that she really thought about things in terms of black and white. I believe that's how her character was introduced, in being that these are the things I must do, these are the values that I must uphold, and there is absolutely no room for gray in between here. This is completely black and white. There's no room for questioning, and these are how I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And because of that, she allowed herself to kind of fully awaken the Yoma ability and transformed into the creature that we saw before. Now here we see her back within human form, and she seems a lot more docile. She seems a lot more blank. So I'm not sure if something might have happened over time to make her that way, or maybe Isley had something to do with it as well, sort of like taking her under his wing and sort of like showing her the ropes and stuff like that, and maybe making her more docile or more submissive. I'm not really sure. But Isley himself is introduced, and at first I thought he was another female character. I'm sorry, he was just a very pretty man. It wasn't until the next chapter where he had his shirt off, and I was like, hey, there's something missing there. And he was drawn with a very masculine body, so I was like, okay, so this guy's a male character, and Raki has no idea. He's a little oblivious as to what's going on, but we know as the audience that this is one of the main male awakened Yomas that is in a relationship with Priscilla, that's sort of beginning this charge, this sort of three-way battle between these three awakened Yomas that we heard about in the last volume or the volume before, and that they're making their way to this town to just completely eviscerate it, eliminate it, and kill all the Claymores that are here as well. So, and Raki has no idea about this. He just sort of wound up within this group of characters, and he believes that they're all humans and has no idea what's going on. The poor man. But he's still a Chad for getting Priscilla to adore him the way that she has so far. And hey, it could all be a trap, but then again, do they know of his relation to Claire? I don't think so. And why would they care? Because to them, Claire is a very low-ranking Claymore, so it wouldn't really have any impact other than if Priscilla was specifically aware of who Raki was. And I don't think that she does, but she might be able to sense aspects of Claire within him, like maybe either by scent or just by like an emotional attachment that he has with Claire, like that connection. She might feel this sort of like familiarity with him because of that. So that might be the reason. Actually, now that I think about it, I didn't think about that before starting this review, but now that I'm thinking about it, that might have something to do with the way that she feels about him. And then we have Isley himself. Like I said, he's a very pretty character, but he seems very calm, cool, collected. Gives me a little bit of Griffith vibes just by the pretty aspect of him, and also being the tactician that he is, seeming like bringing the way to like flank through this town and like absolutely eviscerate it. And he has his number one dude, which is another awakened Yoma named Rigaldo. And Rigaldo is known as the Lion, and that obviously goes right hand in hand with his form of awakenedness. And this guy is absolutely a force to be reckoned with. He comes in at the end of this volume and just tears up shop, and so many characters were being injured and dying, and I'm not sure if they're like officially dead or not, but it looked to me like he like destroyed Veronica and killed Flora as well. And Flora was being built up in this volume as like somebody with, you know, with Claire, having that attachment, like I said, that sort of warrior respect respect between the two of them, and now she just completely gets like eviscerated in half by this character that comes like out of nowhere to them. And I don't know exactly how the story is going to pick up from here, because if we have Rigaldo there and his mission is to just destroy all these Claymores, and he's already doing a pretty damn good job of that, I'm sure a bunch more characters are going to die. And if Claire or whoever else finds a way to overcome him, will she realize that Raki is there as well, off in the distance with Priscilla and in Isley? And and if Claire does see Priscilla right here, right then and there, what's to stop her from fully awakening into her Yoma self just out of rage and vengeance? Because she hasn't seen her for so long, and this has been her mission this entire time. What's she going to do when she's actually face to face with Priscilla? Because I don't believe she has seen her since she was a child, like since Claire was a child. So you go that long with that one particular mission in mind. It reminds me of some other manga. Like, it reminds me of Thorfinn's obsession with defeating Askeladd from the beginning of Vinland Saga, or something similar to that effect. It's like, what do you do when you actually finally get to that position? And is she going to care about protecting Raki over her vengeance for Priscilla? And I think that will be like the narrative sort of conflict right there. It's like, what does she do? Because if she considers, Raki to be taken captive, even though he's not, he is, but he isn't, you know what I mean? Is she going to value that, like saving him over her battle with Priscilla? And then we don't know the full extent of what Isley can do. And then we have this motherfucking lion Rigaldo, which is like, I'm just assuming the Nosferatu Zod of Claymore. And that's just in the mix as well, with all the chaos happening within this battle. So very curious to see where this goes next. I would have read more, but I wanted to get a Claymore video review out for you guys because I know it's been a while. So I will probably do volume 11 very, very soon, because I want to see what's going to happen here. And I might do volume 11 and 12 within one video. I might sort of just read this whole segment, situation where we're at right now, and that'll put me about halfway through the series. So let me know what you guys think about volume 10 of Claymore. If you've read it, if you love it, if you're a Claymore fan, if you've been keeping up with the videos and everything. Like I said, really, really sorry I didn't get a review out last week, but we're back. Claymore volume 10. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, please like this video and share it if you want to. It'll help all engagement with the video. It does help it be seen in the algorithm. Really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far, because I'm going to try to hit 75K by the end of the year. And I would really, really appreciate it if you guys helped me get there. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Love you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you're going to do anything in life, be like Raki.